Hello, and welcome back to A Journey to King's Cross, a Harry Potter book podcast. We just got some new artwork, and as you can see, we've started Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, arguably one of the most important books in the entire franchise, if not also one of the most perplexing if you actually sit and think about it, to be perfectly honest.
And that's what we're here to do.
Yeah, we're going to be probably nitpicking the hell out of some of the stuff in this book. But the Chapter 1 artwork for the Chapter 1 story, the Riddle house and everything, has a slightly slanted image with a slightly slanted fireplace and a slightly slanted book and a very long snake.
It's not
slanted, it's perspective. Clearly you don't remember perspective drawing.
It's
because it's on the wall along the side next to you, so it's going to be taller in the front, shorter in the back.
I guess that kind of depends on how you're looking at it, and I'm trying to get the angle that would straighten everything else out as I'm rotating the book in my hands.
I really feel like he's making a pick at me because I was picking at the punctuation on our...
Yeah, if you look at it sideways like this, it makes sense. Or... It makes sense.
Alright, so apparently I'm the only one complaining about this. Okay, fair enough.
And at least they have a stack of logs by the fire, because obviously even magical fires need fuel to burn.
Yeah.
I think magical fires only bypass the flint and steel.
Unless it's Hermione's magic fire that she puts in a jar.
That's, yeah.
I have to admit, though, the overarching cover art and stuff along those lines for the wraparound, for the hardcover and everything is honestly pretty cool. It's got so much going on, like the hedge maze,
the flying down,
the goblet itself,
Isn't
a freaking dragon
ship on there somewhere? Isn't the Durmstrang ship on there somewhere?
Maybe on the inside tabs, because it continues on the inside as well, I believe, right?
I have no idea what that is on that inside tab.
Hold on, I'm just gonna do this.
Okay, fine. Just be careful. That poor thing's had a lot of damage over the years.
It's well loved.
Yeah, no Bobaton. But, oh, you know what? It's there in front of the
Bobaton is the one with the carriage. The ship is for Durmstrang.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah,
Durmstrang
you started...
ship.
Yeah, you started to call it the Bobaton
See?
ship.
Anyways, I hate you both.
You love us.
It's been a long day, okay?
It's nice to be the person not being tag teamed for a change.
It happens once in a while.
It's nice, though.
I'm leaving.
You can't leave. You live here.
She's got you there, too.
I was going to say it makes sense that there is no Durmstrang ship because they're in front of the third trial.
The Quidditch field.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Which explains the dragon being there.
Well, that just means that there's no lake. I was also wondering what the this thing was over Harry's shoulder. I think it's a Sphinx cat.
I thought that was Sirius. It's a dog.
Yeah, the lack of ears, though, kind of
Snuffles.
make it confusing.
And besides,
I don't know.
the Sphinx has a face of a
things.
woman.
I don't know.
Anyway, we, of course, start off in one of the rare chapters where we're technically not following Harry's perspective.
Not gonna lie, when I first read this story ages and ages and ages ago, this chapter made no sense to me. I was like, I don't understand. Why are we not reading about Harry?
Also, I'm assuming that this weird thing is a blast-ended Scroot.
It's a distinct possibility.
And this face back here might be the Sphinx. There's a lot going on in this. But yeah, it was really confusing. I was like, am I reading Harry Potter? Like, who the heck are these other people that we don't care about?
To be fair, Peter kind of does give it away a little bit since his name is actually mentioned. The thing, though, is that technically speaking, when Harry's having an out-of-body experience, later on it's entirely from the perspective of Lord Voldemort.
I feel like
It's one of those things where it's like, how much information of this chapter did Harry actually get, if that makes sense?
It's, most of the chapter is our information, but Harry might have been actually not getting all of what we saw.
Fair. He didn't get Uncle Vernon's first perspective in book 1 and everything, and I don't think Hermione and Ron gave him every detail when they were playing the the Hufflepuff match in book 1 as well. So it's one of those things where it's like, I'm not saying that it's obviously we're following Harry's perspective through the whole of this. I'm just saying that the way the chapter ends with Harry waking up and stuff along those lines implies that he knows something of what just transpired. But even, I think, in his letter in book 2 and stuff along those lines, he's not 100% showy of exactly what it is that he knows.
I think they mention in the next chapter that he, doesn't remember much of the dream.
Right.
He remembers a man named Frank, sort of, or a man.
So that probably means that he may very well have been watching this from the perspective of Lord Voldemort to a degree, just not entirely remembering it or aware of it, because Voldemort's strength is not, returned very well at this point. He's even admitted as much himself in the chapter.
He's not even a man at the moment.
I am no man.
He could kill the Nazgul. He can do what Eowyn can.
Obligatory Lord of the book 5, yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Lord of the Ring reference. But overall, it is kind of interesting. Most of what I want to talk about, though, for this chapter specifically, kind of revolves around future information and stuff. I do know that there seems to be quite a bit of confusion about the series of events when it comes to this book, especially with Voldemort's overarching plan. Because some of it, most people claim, doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Like what?
Some people have basically gone on record wondering why Harry wasn't kidnapped earlier on in the book, considering who they have, moving around to the Hogwarts castle during the course of the story, if that makes sense.
Dramatic flair?
I always kind of went with the ongoing theory is that somebody was supposed to go back.
What do you mean?
Well, Voldemort wanted to keep his return as closely guarded a secret as humanly possible, right?
But killing Harry,
someone would need to go back.
Somebody would notice that Harry was dead.
He's too important of a figure to just kill off, especially even as his reputation is being dragged through the mud over the course of the story.
Were they gonna use Harry's hair and Polyjuice potion?
They've been using it all year. So my overarching thought process is somebody was supposed to be sent back and potentially either pretend to be Harry for an extended period of time, or they were going to basically announce themselves with killing off Dumbledore basically in a sneak attack.
It was... Voldemort was just going to pretend to be Harry.
Yeah, pretend to be Harry, get up close and personal with Dumbledore, slit his throat.
And then be like, surprise, motherfuckers, I'm back.
Yeah, and the two people that you believe would be able to protect you from me are now dead.
Now what?
Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty confident, I think
considering... maybe it's possible that maybe he's keeping it as quiet as possible was only after his original plan of killing Harry failed. Because he also didn't think that Dumbledore could beat him.
Yeah. But to be perfectly honest, a sneak attack does seem straight up his alley, considering even if he doesn't want to admit it, I think he is still scared of Dumbledore.
He's a coward.
Yeah, he's a coward. He's hardly a Sauron when it comes to Dark Lords.
Right.
Or a Darth Vader, for that matter. Our obligatory Star Wars reference. Overall, I have to admit, from what I can gather, another point of confusion I think is primarily from the movies, because Barty Crouch Jr. shows up in the movies.
Yeah,
even
though
but it's still kind of vague. But people tend to forget that his faithful servant and stuff along those lines is still technically under the Imperious Curse right now, and isn't able to break free of it at least until after the Quidditch World Cup.
I thought he could, because he just wasn't...
He was capable of busting free of it temporarily during the actual event.
Yeah, but he's still under watch and everything.
Yeah, and obviously the person that was taking care of him primarily is gone, and so then the guy in question who's keeping an eye on him has to put more effort and energy, and eventually I think he gets jumped before before school starts up, basically.
Yeah, but this was their whole plan.
Right. But a lot of people I've listened to and stuff in terms of, like, talking about this book specifically seemed very confused for some reason when I'm pretty confident a basic reading of the actual story is very clear about the series of events that are happening in the background.
Yeah,
if you bother to sit down and reread it and forget that the movie exists and is not correct in its assessment of what's going on.
Yeah, but he's obviously been in contact with Voldemort and everything because they had to have made the plan.
Well, okay. Series of events. The Quidditch World Cup happens.
Mm-hmm.
Barty Crouch is... they know about him because of what's her name, the witch.
Bertha.
Because Bertha found out about it, has the memory spell on her, and that's why she's wandering around, not remembering shit and stuff along those lines.
She's dead now.
Yeah, but she's dead now. Before that, she's the reason they know that Barty Crouch Jr. is alive. So, they basically group up. They find, after the Quidditch World Cup, they tag Barty Crouch Sr., get Junior back on them side.
Confused me on who we were talking about.
Yes.
Voldemort and Pettigrew.
Pettigrew. They free Junior. Junior basically gives his father the same shit that he's been giving, and then proceeds to go with Peter to go take on Mad-Eye Moody, successfully beating him and putting him in his trunk so he could use him for hair clippings and stuff along those lines for the Polyjuice Potion.
Right.
Then, when school actually starts up, it's Junior that goes to the actual school to set things up. And a lot of people seem very confused about the series of events and stuff in terms of this overarching plan, basically.
Well, wait, because at what point do they mention that Moody got attacked?
Not too long after,
Arthur
actually.
brings that up.
Yeah.
To Harry.
He does mention it, but it doesn't happen until after he gets back from the Quidditch World Cup and everything. It's actually really quickly afterwards and stuff. Because I think there was a brief period of time where they get back from the Quidditch World Cup, and both Percy and Weasley, Mr. Weasley, go into work overtime and stuff because of the issues that if the attack on the Quidditch World Cup happened. And I think at some point in time during Harry's stay there for the rest of the summer, they get the mention of there being, like, a incident. Because Amos Diggory mentions it and stuff along those lines.
You know what? We're
if
probably
we do
just gonna
actually
have to
get to that point,
revisit this timeline as we listen to it, because we're trying to do this from memory.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things and stuff along those lines. Because obviously, Junior has to be there at the World Cup, still under his dad's control to be there to begin with. Yes, he's the one who sets off the Dark Mark.
Right.
Mad-Eye gets attacked after Quidditch World Cup. I was just kind of like skimming through.
Okay.
Chapter 11 aboard the Hogwarts Express, and then Molly's running through, Arthur, urgent message from the Ministry, and then it like goes in, and I didn't read all of it, but it just says, well, what does Mad-Eye say happened?
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, so that must be the thing.
So so they had everything, like, everything actually works out, more or less. If you actually sit down and start kind of thinking from this demented mentality and everything. If Harry were to disappear prematurely before getting him into that maze and stuff along those lines, a lot of alarms would have basically been raised, because Harry's only allowed to go so far away from the school and stuff, and that's a pretty solid schedule. And he's surrounded by a lot of people more often than not. He's always going to have Hermione and Ron, and if something goes wrong and stuff along those lines, the more people that end up missing temporarily is going to set off more and more alarms.
And I have to admit, so when people were not panicking about Harry and Cedric vanishing, because, like, that would be my first thought, is, like, shouldn't everybody be panicking? Because, you know, that was supposed to be the end of it. It's not that surprising that maybe there is a secret challenge if they both touched it, because, you can't even see what fucking happened in the second trial. It's stupid in the movie, because everybody's just standing around the lake, watching nothing.
We can get more into that later and everything, because trust me, we'll have words for that.
Anyway, back to this chapter.
I meant to say this previously, but you guys got on a train, and I didn't want to derail it. We were talking about, you had mentioned his faithful servant, obviously meaning Barty Crouch Jr. Mm-hmm. And I love the punctuation in here. It says, the faithful servant is italicized. Is my faithful servant, and I don't think he did that so much in the narration.
No, but it implies that
Wormtail's
not faithful.
Oh, he even just reading it normally, it is implying that he's not implying. He's straight up saying it because like later on, he's like right after that, Wormtail's like, "Well, I am a faithful servant. Wormtail, I need somebody with brains, somebody whose loyalty has never wavered, and you, unfortunately, fulfilled neither requirement." So he does not implying. He straight up tells Wormtail that he's not faithful, but the italicization of it it's a nice touch that need a faithful servant.
To be fair, as much as Voldemort gets a majority of his things wrong and stuff along those lines, he's got the mark of Pete pretty damn solid. Pete's like that's the problem with changing sides mid conflict and stuff along those lines. Once you're marked as a traitor, even if you're a traitor for the other side, you are just permanently a traitor, regardless of whether or not your like actual allegiances have changed.
Right. Uh-oh.
She foreshadows in here. None of us picked it up, and I don't think any of us picked it up during the reread or the narration. So he like just after he tells the faithful servant thing, he's like, "Well, you will have your reward, Wormtail," which we all kind of catch that part. I will allow you to perform an essential task for me. One that many of my followers would give their right hands to perform. ...
Oh my god.
He gives his right hand! Literally!
Oh, jeez, man. He's got such a morbid sense of humor.
I was just like, it was in my brain because, like, obviously, we know what the hand does at the very end of the series.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
I bet that may have been poetic coincidence, basically. I have no idea when she was working on ideas for the final.
I'm sure she did that on purpose. I know I'm giving a lot to her. But
I'm not giving any credit to Rowling. I'm thinking Voldemort.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right, because these books have no author. Just kidding. We should.
I mean, no, that's fair. Like, thinking that far ahead for her, that's impressive. But like, I was just thinking.
Eventually she had to start making an actual plan for these books.
Yeah, I was just thinking Voldemort.
Which I think probably started like having to keep root around
Voldemort.
third book, to be perfectly honest, because there is quite a bit of a divergence from the second and third book in terms of like tone and world building and stuff.
And then from the third book to the fourth book.
Yeah, the fourth one is
definitely.
Yeah, the fourth one is where like the adult plot basically starts hitting in. Basically,
Yeah.
There's
the third book is like the last time is Harry gets to be like a kid,
if he ever was allowed to be one to begin
right.
with.
I mean, it also, I think that is also kind of impressed into our brains because if you watch movies 1, 2, and 3, he's got the thick, shaggy haircut. And then book 4, he starts trimming it shorter.
No, 5.
Book 5.
Is it 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, book
4 is when it's at its longest.
The year no one had a haircut.
Yeah.
Right.
Because 5 is when he has the stupid hair.
4, you're right. No, 4 is like the ultra shaggy.
Yeah.
Ironically
You're right.
enough,
I'm sorry, my
I
bad.
do actually like the close cut when it comes to Daniel Radcliffe and the later ones and stuff. It's like he's, all right, I gotta stop goofing off. I gotta get my hair in order and get to work.
Book 5 looks like he just got his hair cut.
Yeah.
Whereas
it's like Hermione going from the frizzy to the curls.
Whereas 6 and 7, it's grown out just a little bit, even though it is shorter. But book 5 looks like you just clipped it.
To be
fair,
fair,
it looks really dumb.
To be fair, he's starting an army in that one. He's got to have the close shave. It's part of the process here. You know what I mean? All right, you maggots! Harry Potter barked. Line up and get your wands out. I'm going to teach you how to fight.
Harry hasn't figured out how to style his hair yet. But anyway, back to this book.
I do feel really bad for Frank, though, and everything. But he's, honestly, out of all of the Muggle characters...
most unremembered character.
He's got to be one of the bravest Muggles in the entire series.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Or the dumbest.
I mean...
The two are mutually exclusive?
Not necessarily.
He hears these people talking about murder, and all he can think of is, I better stop them. That sounds bad.
To be fair, his impulse wasn't to walk into that room. He only did so when he was found out.
Yeah, but still.
Stop them. But either physically stop them or go get the cops.
Yeah.
But to be fair, there is a mention of the war, and I can only assume that's referring to World War II.
Probably.
And so he's probably he probably has that mindset drilled into him of...
Little does he know, this is Wizard Hitler.
It's Wizard Hitler. Stop the regime.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, though, foolhardy or not, I've got to give Frank some props for being this freaking ballsy.
Right.
Because I couldn't imagine Uncle Vernon or Aunt Petunia or Dudley or Vernon's sister being able to buck up the courage in this situation. They would have gone
the first three, we saw how they reacted to Hagrid.
To be fair,
And
Hagrid's intimidating.
Is a kitten compared to Voldemort.
Yeah, but looks-wise, granted, post-resurrection Voldemort is pretty scary. And, and post-death is pretty scary, too. But, pre all that, he was pretty attractive, apparently. I don't think he got ugly until he died.
With the amount of slash fics of Harry Potter and Voldemort online and everything, I think the internet agrees with that assessment. Which is creepy, because it's a 50-year-old man being paired with basically the equivalent of, at the oldest, an 18-year-old. Weird. Which is why they usually go with Tom for those, I think.
But also,
I don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
Gross.
I do! Who wants to look at AO3?
Nope. Nope. One,
no.
I want to keep my sanity. Two, I want to make references that we don't need to make references to.
I would rather...
I'll whisper it to me later.
I would rather stick with Tonks and Lupin.
You know what?
That's less creepy.
It's less creepy because they're both legal adults.
Yep.
And not, disturbingly.
A child.
Yeah. To be fair, though, if we really want to, we could go My Immortal, and we could start doing the Harry Potter fanfic while we're at... if we really want to go down a rabbit hole.
What?
You not familiar with My Immortal, one of the most notorious fanfictions of all time?
In my defense, I haven't really read a lot of Harry Potter fanfics.
Well, me either, but still, it's fucking... It is so notorious and stuff along those lines that people are still talking to it this day and wondering if it was intentionally written to be bad or not. But it does goes to show that there's not really a whole lot to speak about in terms of this chapter, since we're so completely off topic right now.
I always read over this, but now that we're back here, I'm like, what the hell are they milking Nagini for?
I always envisioned Venom.
Venom?
But she's not a venomous snake, is she? She's a constrictor.
In the movie.
I don't really think they explicitly state what she is in the actual books.
Yeah.
But also...
It could not... It might just be her saliva as well. There could be some magical properties due to the fact that she's, theoretically, at this point in time, another Horcrux for him.
Also, we're discounting the fucking Fantastic Beasts movie.
Yeah.
That was stupid.
It
was really dumb.
I don't really... Even their explanation in universe doesn't really connect too well on that one, to be perfectly honest.
Okay, but...
It's just a weird naming coincidence. That's as far as I'm taking it.
Does anybody else looking at this, reading this passage, just think, is he bottle feeding Voldemort?
Yes.
I would imagine so.
I never picked up on that. I was assuming, a cup, a bottle, and pour into a cup or something for him.
Like a water
but now
bottle or
putting
something?
it together, but now I'm, connecting dots, and I'm
thinking of a really gross
bottle
Voldemort baby
feeding,
suckling a bottle.
Of whatever they're milking from Nagini.
It does say in the books that she's described as a venomous green-skinned snake around 12 feet long. No specific snake. So, she is venomous because they mention it in the fucking 7th book.
That's right, she's...
Yeah.
I always forget about that because the movies were like, oh, she's a Burmese python.
Yeah, well...
But is he just straight up drinking her venom?
Yes.
What the hell?
I'm sure it's some kind of magical mixture, honestly, but...
Weird.
And as much as we don't
makes more sense now.
Plus a lot of people would always say that, oh, the snake that was escaped from the zoo was Nagini.
But it's not.
But
and
it's
I think
not,
the movie's
it's a
kind
male.
But, well, it's hard to tell, but I think the movies also lean towards that, too.
Yeah, according to the Wikipedia, it was a potion that was milked from her venom with it and created a potion to sustain him with a temporary body until he could regain his true form. Nagini further kept Voldemort alive after he turned her into a Horcrux with the murder of Bertha Jorkins in 1994, which has already happened as of the start of this book.
Yep. So just recently she became a Horcrux.
Yes. So, probably about as connected as possible.
Yeah, I think he doesn't make her a Horcrux until, like, book 7.
No. I
6.
just read it off of the wiki.
Oh, sorry.
Bertha
Yeah.
Jorkins was the death that he
Yeah,
used.
in 1994, which happened just like a couple of weeks before this book started.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. He was only keeping her close later because...
She was the last Horcrux.
Yeah.
That he was
aware he was aware of.
Because obviously he didn't realize Harry was one as well.
Yeah.
Or maybe
Or-
he would have hesitated.
I don't think
telling
he
him.
also... Well, and it wasn't necessarily that he knew that all the Horcruxes were damaged, just, knew that he was running out of them. They're never really clear on whether he notices the death of his Horcruxes.
No, he doesn't. It wasn't until, like, he starts I think it wasn't until the break-in and the destruction of the cup that he starts panicking and double-checking on everything.
Right.
Right,
because he does go and look for them, and he's like, these are not where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Well, shit.
And it was specifically because he killed a lot of people after that, and he was pissed.
Yeah.
But that's also the reason they had time to check.
And that's also why he
Hogwarts.
knew Harry was going to Hogwarts.
Yeah.
Because
He's like, that's the
that's
only
where
other
the last one.
Yeah, that hasn't been necessarily accounted for. I think even Lucius gets tortured at some point in time when he realizes the diary got destroyed. I think he's aware of all of them, as, as such.
But R.I.P. Frank.
Yeah. I think the last mention he honestly gets is at the end of the book, basically, and that's pretty much the extent of it.
You get that bugger. He killed me.
That must have been a really surreal sensation for him, because I think it's the closest we ever see to a Muggle ghost. Because I think in most cases, most ghosts are only witches and wizards, and that it's not technically possible for a Muggle to become a ghost. I'm not sure if that's in the actual books or if that's something I've read up on Pottermore or something along those lines, but that was about as far that was my standing knowledge of it, not necessarily a hard truth.
Yeah, I think you might be right. It might be in the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I think they do mention ghosts in it. While not a strictly magical creature.
Yeah, that's like ghosts still kind of make me wonder and stuff along those lines. Anyway, that sounds like a fate worse than death in my personal opinion. Even if that was an option, I sure as hell ain't taking that. I'd rather see what's on the other side.
Yeah. Just stare at all the food you've always wanted to eat and then just can't eat it.
You can't go nowhere. Kind of sucks.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest, though, at least in the Harry Potter universe, you would know for certain about the existence of a soul.
I mean...
Whether or not that impacts your religious views and stuff along those lines is entirely up for an entirely different matter.
There's no guarantee that the ghost is a soul, though.
I'd always kind of figured they may have been a memory, like a remnant, so to speak,
Maybe
like an
it more
imprint.
just kind of like split your soul. Half of your soul stayed behind, and half of your soul moved on.
I mean, it didn't necessarily have to be a half, but yeah, to a degree.
But a fragment.
Yeah. Anyway, anything else anybody else wants to talk about in terms of the Riddle House?
Not really.
I kind of want a snake that curls up on a rug like a deranged dog. I know my wife hates them and everything, but that actually sounds kind of cool. Oh, anyway, that...
Shaking my head. No. No snakes.
Furnace
no
kicked down, so we might as well end this. You can find my content at Luna's Creation Corner on most social media if you like crochet.
You can find me on YouTube, Brandywine Stitches, for all of my crafty cross-stitch journey, and then the rest of the socials at Hockeytown Candle Co.
I'm on Twitch under Cole Sanders and everything. I'm currently working through a game called Dispatch. I decided to take a little bit of a break and everything. It's a fairly enjoyable game. I would totally recommend you guys trying that one out, especially if you're into superhero stories. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, tell us if we missed anything that you really liked about the actual chapter and stuff.
What are your thoughts? Do you disagree with anything?
better opinions. Am I wrong about some of my information? I'm always okay with being corrected on the internet, since somebody's going to do it anyway.
But never okay with being corrected in real life.
Damn right, I will deck a motherfucker.
He will die on that molehill.
But until next time, keep your wands at the ready.